Okay, today I want to talk about psychological assessments, specifically three different psychological assessments: the Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory 2, the Mini Mental State Examination, and the Millen Clinical Multi-Axel Inventory 4, as well as a case study where all three of these assessments was used to evaluate a client. The MMPI-2, or the Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory 2, was developed by Hathaway and McKinley in 1943. This assessment was revised in 1989, in 2001, and in 2009. It was published by the University of Minnesota, and it was developed to assist in clinical diagnosis of psychological disorders. This test is administered by both computer or pencil and paper. When administered by computer, the computer also scores the test, which makes it so much easier on the clinician. The MMPI-2 consists of 567 true-false questions. These questions have no right or wrong answer, and the way the questions are answered would indicate the different personality styles of the examinee. The MMPI-2 takes between 60 and 90 minutes to complete the assessment, which brings both strength and limitations to the test. It brings strength to the test because the multiple questions cause the validity of the validity scales to catch any fake good or fake bad intentions. And the limitations are that it takes so long. Sometimes people with high anxiety may have a difficult time, or people that have a hard time concentrating or staying focused for long periods of time might have a hard time completing the assessment. The MMPI-2 was developed for ages 18 and older, with a 5th grade reading level required in order to complete the assessment. Some details about the MMPI-2 concerning validity scales is there are 3 different validity scales to tell if the examinee is lying, faking good, or faking bad. With the vast amount of questions, both positive and negative in both positive and negative fashions, it is nearly impossible to fake good or fake bad without the score showing the intent. There's also 10 clinical scales that the MMPI-2 measure: hypochondriasis, depression, hysteria, psychopathic deviant, masculinity and femininity, paranoia, psychoasthenia, schizophrenia, hypomania, and social introversion. The scoring of the MMPI-2 looks at scores that are greater than 65. Any score that's greater than 65 on the validity scale or the personality scales is considered high and is interpretable, and also allows for feedback from the manual. Another scoring strength that the MMPI-2 has is the 2-point codes, designed to give more accurate interpretations that help understand how different scores work together. In other words, they take the highest 2 scores and combine them together. And not only are you looking at different personality types on an individual level, but also how those two might work together. Another assessment that I want to look at is the MCMI-4, or the Millen Clinical Multi-Axel Inventory 4. The authors are Theodore Millen, Roger Davis, Kerry Millen, and Seth Grossman. This assessment was developed in 1977 and was published by the University of Michigan. The latest revision of the MCMI-4 was done in 2015. This assessment was developed to provide clinical measurements of personality traits as well as psychiatric disorders. It is administered on both computer and pencil paper. This assessment differs from the MMPI-2 mainly by the size. The MMPI-2 had 567 true-false questions, where the MCMI-4 only has 195 true-false questions, which helps those that have a hard time with concentration or focus. Rather than 60 to 90 minutes, this test takes only 25 to 30 minutes, and it was developed for ages 18 and older as well, with a 5th grade reading level. Dr. Millen spent his life in research for mental health and personality disorders. A short time after publishing his findings, many other scholars in the field encouraged him to develop a test that puts his findings of research in a tool that would be usable by clinicians. The focus of the MCMI-4 is in diagnosing and describing personality and personality disorders. And uses 5 scales of categories. The first scale is the validity and modifying indices. The second is the clinical personality patterns. The third is the severe clinical syndromes, severe personality pathology, and clinical syndromes. It is also based on the theoretical core principles of Dr. Millen's theory of the intersections of polarities. These intersectional polarities are pleasure versus pain, active versus passive, and self versus others. The reliability and validity on the personality pattern scales has a median alpha value of 0.84. The clinical syndrome scales has a median alpha value of 0.83. And the Grossman facet scales has a median alpha value of 0.80, leaving the validity and reliability of the MCMI-4 very high. The third and final assessment that I would like to mention is the Mini Mental State Examination, or the MMSE. The Folstein Mini Mental Status Examination assessment was founded by Marshall and Susan Folstein and Travis White. It was developed in 1975 and was published by the University of Michigan. The purpose of the Mini Mental Status Examination was to measure cognitive impairment and is widely used in the medical field for patients with dementia, Alzheimer's, patients that have had strokes, not only to measure their cognitive impairment, but also measure cognitive changes over time. Some other facts about the MMSE is that it was written in 10 different languages. Some of these include English, Spanish, Chinese, Russian, French, and German. This test was designed for those ages 18 to 65. It's administered on pencil and paper. The test only has 11 questions, and in those 11 questions there are different things that it's looking at, such as 7 different cognitive domains: orientation to time, orientation to place, registration of 3 words, attention and calculation, recall of the same 3 words, language, and visual construction. This inventory is measured by calculating 1 point for each item. The client is able to complete correctly and is scored in 3 different categories: either no impairment, which would be a score from 24 to 30, mild impairment, which would be a score of 18 to 24, and severe impairment with a score from 0 to 17. This assessment only takes 10 to 15 minutes, and the inter-rater reliability is 0. I would like to take this time and talk about the case study with my client BC, 38-year-old Caucasian female, married for 19 years with 3 children, suffering from anxiety, being keyed up and high-strung, according to her. Client was referred to me by her therapist that has been working with her for about 2 months and feels like she's not getting very far with her, and just wanted to make sure that she hasn't overlooked anything pertinent to help her client. BC was well-oriented and on time. She dressed nice, not in any kind of fashion that would draw attention to herself, but looked pleasant. Her hygiene was good. She was given the Folston Mini Mental Status Examination first, showing that she does not have any cognitive impairments. She was also given a biopsychosocial, which revealed that the client has many close relationships with friends and family. She grew up in a loving and caring home that was very structured yet rigid. BC is very concerned about what God and her dad think about her and her behaviors and her performances. BC has a history of mental illness in her family, with her mom and her uncle, brother and sister, both being diagnosed with major depressive disorder. Her uncle has been hospitalized for suicide attempts. Client is worried that she's going to one day become depressed as well, and worries that that she's not going to be able to pay all the bills, worried that she's not going to have enough time to do everything that she's supposed to do. She worries that people are looking down on her. According to the biopsychosocial, it seems that the client is likely overly concerned about what others think about her, and that she does not have any or many of her own ideas or convictions with moral behavior and what is pleasing to others. She doesn't feel like she's good enough, and that she's not going to do the right things on her job, and ultimately feels that she's letting other people down. This drives her to perfectionistic tendencies, and she feels like a failure when she makes only minor mistakes. When given the Minnesota Multifaceted Personality Inventory -2, BC showed no T-scores over 65 on the validity scales, which means the assessment was valid. She showed no T-scores that were greater than 65 on any other scales as well. Some of her higher scores were the BIZ, which she scored a 58, that may show signs of anxiety as consistent with the referral from her outpatient therapist. TPA, or type A personality, is another thing that she scored a 56 on, which causes some heightened irritability, fast-moving paces at work, and task-oriented. And finally, a score of 59 on work, which may show some signs of low self-confidence, interfering with her work at times by being indecisive with elevated tensions or obsessiveness. BC has reported that she is highly concerned about pleasing others and will do whatever it takes to keep peace. BC was also given the Millen Clinical Multi-Axle Inventory 4. BC rates low on the severe personality scales for all 3 categories. BC's high point code was 7, 4A, and 5. It is likely that BC will be dependent and driven to the point of perfectionistic, as her appearance and what others think about her are highly important. She will also be able to make friends quickly and move from one social event to the next, as boredom is likely to not go well with her or be tolerated well by her. However, under the surface of her assertiveness is a person that tends toward dependency on others and has a hard time making decisions, as it causes great anxiety. Recommendations are CBT therapy to reframe some of her cognitive distortions, and possible stress reduction techniques and massage therapy to relieve some of her tension.